Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining Dawn and me this morning live for our Q&A session on everything about the 90-day challenge. All right, so this session is for you. So if you've got questions about the challenge, you're kind of sitting on the fence, wondering, is the challenge right for me? Well, we're going to answer those questions today. We're going to start with the top 5 asked questions that seem to come in year after year, but came in again this year. So we thought it was important to address these that come in through emails, on Facebook chat, to just answer that for you. But we're here for your questions also. So as Dawn said, if throughout this call today, type in your questions. You can start by typing in right now as well. And we will be sure to address those after we do the top 5. So let's just jump right in. Dawn, what have we got?
Okay, well, what is the challenge? Exactly how is the challenge guidebook different from the IKS Coursebook, the audiobook, and the masterclass?
Yeah, that's a big question. A lot of confusion there. It feels like, what are you offering? What's this about? So if you have gone through the IKS course, okay, which is either the audiobook or the 8-week masterclass program, first I want to explain, you don't, as I address in that, you don't change anything with your food as you work through the modules and the tasks intentionally. You're not joining and then saying, I'm kicking sugar the first day I hit module 1, right? And I designed it to do intentionally over 21-day period. That's about 3+ modules a week. Now, if you're in the masterclass program, I advise you to take slower, which all my masterclass students know, about 1 to 2 module weeks. And that's because we have a lot more material. We dive deeper into the audiobook, okay? And the material in the masterclass program. And there's also bonus tasks for masterclass students that need to be completed before they can move on to the next module. But bottom line, it's self-paced, whether you're listening to the audiobook, it's self-paced as you're going through the masterclass, guided there. But it is designed with a timeline. However, in order to move on to that next module, as I shared, it is crucial that you do all the tasks to be able to kick sugar. So what are those again? That's, watching the movies that we give, the prescribed movies. In the masterclass, it's all those 29 coaching videos. It's the journal work, all those tasks with the prompts. It's about getting to the root of your sugar addiction, to discover your why. Why you're turning to sugar, to food for discomfort, to comfort yourself with your emotional needs. So trust me, it is never, I know it's going to sound weird, but it's never about the sugar, believe it or not. It's deeper than that. And if we don't address these issues, bottom line, to dig deep, you're going to be avoiding the real issue. And when you do that, you're not getting to your power, okay, to your control. So this course that I created, it's about self-love, loving yourself. That is key, right? And it's about creating new habits, and changing your language is so crucial. I teach that language and your mindset, right? To own your power so that you can kick sugar. So we're building a foundation as you work through the program. So that way you can never and will never desire sugar again. So let me explain. Again, at the beginning of the course, I don't want you worrying about the food, and I direct you in module 9 then, where you're invited to declare your day and kick sugar for good, all right? And that way, that is when you change your diet, right? So going through the course, you focus on your why. You got to build that foundation, as I mentioned first, to understand everything about your body, about your mind, and prepare yourself so that you know how to do this, and that you truly want to do this, right? Otherwise, you're going to be relying on willpower to power you through this. And that's what all of you ladies, including me, what we've done before and why we failed. Thousands of times we've dieted, all right? And we've failed because we relied on willpower. And that's why this course is different. Because you're first going to build that foundation working through the I Kick Sugar course, whether it's the audiobook, or whether it's the course book, whether it's the master class. All right. And then you're going to learn how to read food labels and identify, sugars and be able to know what's healthy and what's not. And you're going to learn about habits and triggers. And then you're going to build on this foundation. All right. So when you get to the end of module 9, as I mentioned, when I invite you to kick sugar, you come to a place, where you can say that it's not that you can't have sugar, right? It's not that you shouldn't have sugar. It's that you don't want sugar. And that's a much more powerful place to stand. So that's what's happening. That is the course that I just described there. To go back to that question, that is the I Kick Sugar course. So when you're in module 9, you declare your day. And like so many women, you are now living a sugar-free life, and you go through your sugar detox and you start eating and living a healthy life, and then that helps you jumpstart your weight loss. That's the goal for you. Now, this is where the 90-day challenge comes in and how it's different from the course. All right. Because after you've done that, you're typically done with me. You're sugar-free and you're living your life. All right. But I get so many women asking, well, how do I cook? How do I live a life? How do I be healthy now? How do I go through my sugar detox? What do I eat? What do my meals look like? How do I lose weight? What should I be eating? And the program, as you know, the course, we don't discuss really diet, in your food, or how to lose weight or shred fat. And that is where in the challenge, I am teaching the exact method that I've been using for years to shred fat while nourishing my body, okay? Keeping it strong and healthy. And this is how I've maintained my weight now all of these years. So that is what's in the challenge guidebook. So if you're wanting and needing to kick sugar, to lose weight, to get healthy, no matter where you are in my course, right? If you're just maybe starting out with my Sugar Sleuth toolkit, you picked up the free toolkit, you're wondering all about IKS, or maybe you're already a masterclass student who hasn't maybe declared their day yet, this challenge is for you. So in the challenge, the first 21 days, because it's 90 days, right? 90-day challenge, first 21 days is designed. I give you that time to work through the course. All right, for all of you who haven't done that yet, and you've already declared your day, I suggest you use that time as a refresher. So many of my masterclass students who are successful living their lives, they have continued to go back to the material and work the program, even after they're declared and everything is great. All right, so you're working through the modules, you're reinforcing the material. And then the next 69 days, that is where you're strictly working on learning how to eat real whole food and get your body moving. All right, so that is what the challenge is. I think that helps describe now what the course is and what the challenge is. Would you agree, Dawn, the difference there, distinction?
I would. It's definitely two different things, but in the challenge, you do both. It crosses over. So just want to make sure everybody's clear with that. The people who have not been with us previously, they still have that chance to go into it with that healthy side of things of learning how to kick sugar to the curb. And so that way they bridge the gap into the challenge.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So our second question, will the challenge diet work for me? Because I have dietary restrictions or certain health complications that makes it to where certain foods are off limits. I know you're a vegetarian. Will I actually have to do that too?
Gosh, no. I'm not trying to convert you to be vegetarian, vegan. I am trying to convert you and support you and push you towards real whole food, a plant-based diet, predominantly, I should say, plant-based. So that is the beauty, honestly, of the method that I'm teaching in the challenge guidebook, which I learned from my nutritionist, from my coaches that I'm sharing with all of you, where he ate meat, I did it, is that you get to choose and create what foods, work best for your body type, for whatever your dietary restrictions are. any health complications, food sensitivities, allergies. That's what's great about that. Now the goal of the challenge, as I mentioned, is to start incorporating predominantly whole food, plant-based diet, focusing minimally on processed foods, specifically plants. And the macronutrient that we're really focusing on, that I see year after year doing the challenge with these ladies that they are not getting enough of, is protein. So we are really focusing on protein, which is so crucial, and understanding what are the good, healthy proteins, lean proteins out there. How do you eat protein in a healthy manner? So bottom line, with such overwhelming, amounts of research out there. I mean, you can Google it yourself. Don't believe me. Book after book arguing and advising for you, which is the best diet? Is it keto, paleo? Everybody's throwing out these words, vegan, gluten-free, just to name a few. I mean, it is really overwhelming, but there's one thing that all science and the evidence supports, and points to, is a diet emphasizing real whole ingredients, minimizing processed foods along with animal products is by far, for overall wellness and longevity is what this is about. So, if you eat meat during the challenge, I can say keep eating meat if you want, and if you don't, more plant power to you. All right, Dawn, what other questions? Unless you want to add something to that.
Well, I'll let you guys know that I'm not a vegetarian, and actually there's several of our ambassadors who are not vegetarians either. So yes, this can be very successful, vegetarian or meat eater. The key, like she said, is making sure we're eating whole foods as much as possible and very minimal processed foods. That's where things change.
Yeah.
Okay. Third question, how much exercise will I have to do? And do I actually need a gym membership?
Yes, every day, 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, just joking. No, it's not required to join a gym. It would be very beneficial. Definitely, it's also very beneficial, and I highly encourage, if you don't, to be picking up yourself a pair of dumbbells, some different equipment, whether they're, bands, resistant bands, a yoga mat. So having some items at home, if you're going to do, movement, start incorporating movement at home. Absolutely. You should be expecting to be incorporating daily exercise into your life, consistently throughout the challenge. As I mentioned, this is about we are working on creating healthy habits, and movement, ladies, is one of those healthy habits. You've got to do it. So simply choose what works best for you. And we discussed this in the challenge guidebook. For cardio though, this challenge, I'm recommending 45 minutes of planned walking every day, or 10,000 steps per day. And if that sounds like a lot to you, then that should be an indicator. I need this. I need this motivation and accountability. I need to be doing this along with other women every day, where I can check in and say, hey, I got my steps in today. I went for my walk. So crucial. Or I got to the gym. I got on, the treadmill, or I bought a treadmill at home for myself to start it. So yes, you're gonna have to start moving. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Dawn.
And when she says 45 minutes, if your schedule doesn't allow 45 minutes of one time, you can break it up. Ideally, one time would be best, just because it keeps our heart rate up at a regular base for that period of time. But make it work for you. I mean, we are not saying it has to be cookie cutter, only this. Yes. We work with what we can do. So if you can only find 15, 20-minute pockets of time, then okay, do it 3 different times. But make it work for you. And
Dawn, I'm so glad I got to jump in there, because that's key what you said, because that comes back to what we all believe in our philosophy, right? Progress, not perfection. And I used to fall into that sometimes too, in my youth, was like, oh my God, if I'm not doing, 30 minutes of hard intensity cardio, every day on top of doing weights, then I've failed. And that just creates burnout, like you can't, if that's maybe your job full time, fine. But at some point where it gets too much. It did for me. And I've definitely learned as I've gotten older. I mean, I'm going to be 55 coming into 2025. Is that right? Yeah, 2025, 55. That, I don't judge my workouts anymore. I just make sure I get moving, whether that's a walk, a run, or I get to the gym, or a hike with my husband, or a scramble, a yoga class. It doesn't have to be, I only had one idea and vision of what that workout should look like. And now it's anything. Just move. But don't kid yourself, like saying like, oh, I'm cleaning, and you're just going slow. I'm polishing the table, and you spend 30 minutes and you're out of breath cleaning your house. Well, then that's an indicator you need to be working out more for sure. So you want to get that heart rate up. All right. That's enough on that.
Well, definitely just every improvement you're making, it's better than it was before. And that's the key of getting this started. We want this to be a lifestyle change, not I'm doing it just for these 90 days.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So next, how is the challenge guidebook different than the IKS Coursebook? There's 2 written books that you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's as I mentioned earlier, but again, even after somebody's heard that explanation, then they still seem to be a little bit confused or not sure. So again, the 100-page I Kick Sugar course book. We're calling that the course book because it's the course and it's 100 pages. All right. That teaches you to build your foundation so you are ready and wanting to declare your sugar freedom. All right. The course book is to be used throughout this challenge in conjunction, primarily the first 21 days, but it's to be used with the 90-day challenge. Okay. Guidebook, which is 85 plus pages. It's almost 90 pages. What can I say? I like to write. So please note though, I want you all to know the audiobook. If you have just the audiobook and you register for the challenge, the audiobook will not do. It's just been proven scientifically by all of my thousands of ladies who've gone through, who then get the course book. They're like, oh my God, I listened to the audiobook 1,000 times and I missed this, like until I read the course book, the 100-page course book. How come I missed this? You need the course book. You need to print out the course book. You don't need to print out the guidebook, but I highly recommend it. You need to print out the course book so you can read and see. There's something with a brain, pen, eye connection there, looking at those words to do this, particular challenge. So that way you're working through the course book over the next 21 days. And then once you declare your sugar freedom, as I said, and you become a sugar-free expert in the micronutrient of sugar, because that's all we're talking about in the 100-page course book is sugar. That's what you're learning, that's it. You're not learning about carbs, fat, healthy fats, protein. You're not learning about that fiber. None of that is coming into the course book. You are learning about sugar and what it does to your body and brain and how to kick it. Now, the challenge guidebook, when you move over to the guidebook, you're going to learn how to shred fat and lose weight. Okay. Most of us only learn to lose weight by cutting calories. That's what I did, as a teenager. Hate to say it, but it's so embarrassing to say, but I've experienced this with all our ladies, right, Dawn? Like everybody grew up with that mentality, like count your calories, but that's the old diet system and that does not work. And it requires willpower because why does it require willpower? Because not all calories, ladies, are created equal. I'm sure you've heard that, but you're going to really dive into understanding why. Why aren't they equal? Okay. Sure, you can lose weight without a doubt, 1,200 calories a day, but you can't sustain that. All right. And if you are going to be eating those calories, those 1,200 calories with ultra processed foods, it's going to drive you insane because living on Doritos and diet soda, and M&Ms What that is that's creating nutrient deficiencies. Okay, leaving your body starving. You are still starving. So even though you put something in your mouth, you acted out like you were eating, you weren't feeding your body. And you're making it actually worse because that sets off cravings now, because that's how that food is designed to affect your brain and your body to make you want more. You're setting off that addiction and you are setting yourself up to eat more junk food and cravings. And sure, you keep that willpower and you fight through that because it's a short little duration, a diet, and then you lose that weight, but you never get to the root and you never learn how to eat like a healthy person. So you're relying on the willpower to power you through. Eventually those muscles wear out and you end up failing and falling off that diet wagon. All right. So to never rely on willpower again, I'm going to teach you in that challenge guidebook about macronutrients. All right. What makes up that calorie? All right. And what are the right amounts? So you're going to learn about, as I said, protein, fats, carbohydrates, simple carbs, complex carbs. What's the difference? And fiber, so crucial. That's a big buzzword now. Fiber. And I'm not talking about fiber when you go to the store and you see a packaged ultra processed thing that's advertising, get your fiber. And you're like, oh my God, it's got like 12 grams of fiber. And I only need to have 25, 35, grams of fiber. This is great. I'll just eat 3 of these bars. No, real plant-based fiber. Fiber only comes from plants. Okay. You've got it. And fruits and vegetables. You've got to start incorporating real food to get the right fiber to feed your gut microbiome. And you're going to learn all the important roles that all of those macronutrients play in your body to balance your metabolic health. Another key buzzword I'm sure you've all heard. So once you learn that importance of these macronutrients, you'll then learn how to create meals that are now rich, nutrient rich, and dense. So that way you can put more food. You can still have 1,200, 1,500 calories because that's how you are going to lose weight with that calorie deficit. But you're going to be eating so much more food than you ever have before. And that's crucial on that plate. And that's going to leave you satiated and full, kicking those cravings to the curb. All right. So there's the difference.
All right.
What do you think, John?
No, that's great. So the last question we're going to ask before we get to the live chat box, which has a couple questions listed. My question is, how hard is the challenge?
It surprises me. I mean, this is a common question we get from our ladies, year after year. So we have to keep bringing it up. And, so maybe you are kind of resonating with that right now as you hear that, or as you watch the replay later, if you couldn't make this call, and you're scared and you're wondering, oh, is this going to be hard? And maybe that's what's stopping you from registering right now, not wanting to put the hard work in. But, if I can just be real for a minute, I think I always am, but I'm going to be real again, ladies, for a minute and honest with anyone who might be wondering this. I would invite you to see right now that you're stuck in your life because you're asking yourself the wrong question, right? And I just want you to take a moment and examine right now, think about your current life, right? And get real honest with yourself. Because if you're asking or thinking, about, is this challenge going to be hard? Or if you're scared that it's going to be hard, I got news for you. If I had to guess, you are already living hard. Bottom line, you want to know what hard is? I've said this before. I mean, it is sitting where you are now. That is what's hard. I want you to get this. Feeling your aches and your pains and inflammation, every minute of the day. That is hard, right? How about being out of breath from just one flight of stairs or going for a walk with your, companion, your spouse, at night, and you guys are having a conversation and you're out of breath just talking at a slow pace? That's hard. Shouldn't have to do that. Managing several medications and the awful side effects. That is hard. Going to your doctor appointments. How about that? Doctor appointment after doctor appointment, scheduling it, or being stuck in those daily negative thought patterns, having that internal voice annoying you from room to room in your house every day, berating you. That is what's hard, right? Not being able to get down on the floor, play with your kids or your grandkids. That's hard. These are the questions, what you should be realizing. So, to answer the question, here is, you're committing yourself daily to this practice of self-discipline. If it's hard, yes, that is hard. Okay. But I want you to you're already living, and you already know how to handle hard because most of you are living it, right? If you really are honest with yourself. You're a lot stronger than you think you are, ladies. This is just, and I've heard this from ladies all the time who start practicing and honoring self-discipline and seeing that as something positive, that this is just a better hard, that this is going to pay you out in dividends, bringing you health and happiness instead of the hard that you're living right now. That brings you pain, discomfort, unhappiness. So it's your choice. You choose your hard. Remember that the safest path bring the least rewards. So I want to invite you, all of you right now, to stop being afraid of what could go wrong and just start believing in what could go right. Optimal health, all right, it is not about being great and perfect all the time like Dawn and I just talked about. God knows I am not perfect. All right. It is about consistency, though, more often than not. And that is what we are working on and encouraging and supporting each other throughout this 90-day challenge is that consistency. And I want you to get that your biggest fear actually, carries your greatest opportunities for personal growth. So embrace fear. That's what I've got to say to you. Start looking at your fears differently, right? Your fears and how you face them will bring out the best in you. And that's again what this challenge is designed to do. So if you're scared to join this challenge or to do the challenge, I want you to get that's a good thing, okay? Because if something doesn't scare you, if something doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, all right? In life, you've got two choices. Right? You can either step forward and expose yourself to the work, to risk, and to evolve by kicking sugar and joining this challenge, or you can play it safe, and small and stay hiding out in the shadows and keep looking at my emails and be where you are right now next year as you see all of the winners this spring come forth. And then you're thinking, gosh, I wish I had joined. So it is your choice, ladies. And I'm not, saying by not choosing, I want you to get, you are making a choice. So crucial, your health, your happiness, they're not going to change on their own. It's like, I just wish I could pound that into people to get that. If you are miserable, like I say you are, I don't know if you are, maybe you're super happy and super healthy, but I had a guess if you're here on this call, you're watching the replay later, you're, clicked on a Facebook ad for IKS Sugar, you've got some work to do. All right. Then it is time to get to work, right? No, it is not going to be easy, right? But great things, they never are, right? And they never start. I want you to get this too from our comfort zones, right? So if you want to be something and somebody that you have never been before, then you need to do something that you have never done. Scary? Wrong. No, it's not scary. You know what's really scary and painful and miserable? Being trapped in this perpetual cycle. That was me all my life until I broke out of it. In that physical discomfort, the pain and unhappiness. That's scary, being trapped in that. Looking at yourself like I did in the mirror. I talk about this in the course, in the 90-day, not in the 90-day challenge, in the IKS Sugar Challenge, looking in my mirror every day and not liking the reflection, and seeing that person staring back, that is what's scary, right? Because at the end of the day, if you, and it's you alone, you have to look yourself in the mirror and you've got to be content with the choices that you have made. And that is all that matters. So my wish for you, Dawn's wish for you, is that we hope that you believe in yourself the way that we believe in you, the way our ambassadors believe in you. I want you to believe in everything that you are, and understand that within you, I didn't think it was possible. And now I'm proof that it is. And all the other women who have done it, there is something greater than any obstacle, whatever you're going through. And kicking sugar is going to make you stronger to get through those obstacles. You can face it. Bottom line. So I'm going to end with this question to answer the question. I know it's a long answer, but I really want you to get that, and remind you to just faith in your abilities, work hard and never give up. I think our ambassador, Melissa, was wearing the never give up sweatshirt in the group yesterday. She made a post, and that's why I made it. Never give up. There is nothing that you can't accomplish. Might feel like it where you're sitting right now, but you got to start moving. And that's what is happening, when you're doing the challenge, kicking sugar. And hell, how about winning thousands of dollars from the prizes, $500? Couldn't that change your life? That would be awesome that we're giving away. So I hope that you do choose hard, this hard. That's what I hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was great. Okay. So there's a couple questions that have come up in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and share with those. Now, this first one, I will say the answer is actually in the IKS Sugar course, which of course you need to do if you haven't done yet as part of the challenge. But the question is, what do you teach and feel about healthy sugar alternatives like stevia and sugar alcohols?
Okay, really quick, because that's what we teach in the program. So clearly you must already have my program and you're going to get to that. And it's talked about throughout both the program and the masterclass, and in the challenge. But as we discussed, we are talking about kicking ultra processed sugars and artificial sweeteners. So yes, stevia and monk fruit, if it's pure and whole, not, diluted, which many manufacturers do. So that's why you're learning how to be a sugar sleuth in my program. Those, are sugar alcohols, and they cause all kinds of havoc on your gut microbiome problems. You can read all about it. I won't teach it now. So, but yes, you learn that. You learn which ones. This is not about, to better answer for you that question, this is not about deprivation. Yes, there are things that you can bake and make. I mean, in the masterclass program, if you're not in it, this Friday, we're having our holiday party, and it's a cookie recipe exchange party where all our ladies submitted healthier recipes from the IKS approved, natural, unrefined sugar sweeteners, and like monk fruit or stevia or date paste dates. And we learn and we go through all of that. So it's not about deprivation. My program is about abundance. All right. So it's moving away from those ultra processed, because the science and research shows you through the last 50 years. And again, I won't teach all this now. I talk about it in the course of where the decline in our health occurred and how the sugar industry rise and what's happening to our food system. I want you ladies all to get, you're not broken. All right. It's our food system that's broken. All right. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Great question though. Thank you for asking it.
And for clarification, just so everybody is clear on this, we are not recommending those artificial sweeteners or anything like that. We're not one of these that say, oh, change it by adding Splenda.
Sucralose. Yeah.
Exactly.
You see lots of sugar-free recipes out there and people claiming this is sugar-free. that have 0 calories and it's sugar free, but it's because those sugar substitutes, those sweeteners don't register. And so it's zero. So it's zero sugar, 0 calories. I mean, because it's a chemical. There's nothing there to it. And it's causing havoc on our bodies for sure. So right, like you said, we are not suggesting you move to artificial sweeteners by any means. And I teach that in the course.
Yes. And we're talking natural. And as I tell my husband, white sugar is not natural, even though sugar cane is something that's grown. Yeah. I have to have that argument with him. Still, after 4 years, I still have to have that argument with my husband. So
and it's about, you learn also, it's about the process. So, like Dr. Robert Lustig even says, sugar isn't bad. It's what's done to sugar. Exactly. So it's the stripping of all of the nutrients. It's the processing. It's like the chemicals that they're putting to change that and alter it. They're altering it. Because the cakes that grandma made 50, 60 years ago are different from the cakes that you're making today. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, next question. And we've already answered this kind of, but I just want to make sure this is nice and clear. It says, can someone that has not signed up for IKS at all sign up for the 90-day challenge without the masterclass signing up?
Yeah, great question. Yes, you absolutely can. You do need to pick up, though, the course book. So in the shopping cart, I have the little checkbox. If you don't have the 100-page IKS Sugar course book, you need to add that on to your purchase. So because just registering, and right now, the challenge is $97. Okay. And that gets you registration. That gets you the opportunity to win the money, to win the swag. That's your registration into the challenge. With that registration, we give you the challenge guidebook, the 85+ page challenge guidebook. If you do not have the course book, the 100-page course book, you need that along with that. So you need to pick that up. Exactly. And that is normally $89, but we're doing that special with the challenge. If you're registering for the challenge, you can pick it up for $29. And today we've got a $10 promo code that I think that Dawn is putting in there that put that coupon code in at checkout, and it'll bring it down $10, your registration, to $87. You can all join today for $87. And hopefully that answered the questions about the masterclass.
I do want to clarify that $10 coupon code is only good through this Friday. So take advantage of it now, number one. Number two, when you got the registration, you're getting the guidebook. If you think you might have the course book, but then you realize, I only have the audiobook. In the guidebook, there is a link that you can click at the very back that will get you back to the point to be able to get that course book for just $29. Otherwise, on our store, it's listed as $89. So we don't want you to have to pay $89 when you can get it for $29. So somebody had asked, can I buy them separately? And yes, the guidebook is automatically a part of the registration fee for the challenge. So you get that immediately as part of that. And then you can get the course book. If you realize you have not gotten it, you can get it then, because that, without the course book, which our masterclass members already have it, and some other people who have already done the challenge already have it, you can get it that way, but you have to have that to be officially eligible for prizes for the challenge. So I hope that clarifies. There was a couple of questions about that.
Yeah, so I got a little confused how you said that, but I get confused very easily. So I might be the only one confused. But just to reiterate what I think you said, if you've already signed up for the challenge and you don't own the 100-page course book to do the actual course, you had the audiobook and you thought that would do, and you didn't get it at checkout because you didn't realize you needed it. Yes, in the back of your challenge guidebook, on our last page, we have a shop page, and you can pick it up there for that same $29. So you can still get it for the $29 is that what you were basically saying?
Yes.
All right. We're on the same page. Woohoo!
Those of you already in the masterclass, don't buy it because you already have it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And this one's a great one. Is it beneficial to go through the course book before the challenge starts?
Yeah, I don't see, yes, yeah, I mean, the key thing I want to keep in mind is this is you versus you. This isn't, you are not like competing. I mean, yes, I suppose in some ways you're competing about against others, but seriously, the heart of it is you versus you, because that's who you're competing against in life every day, right? You are battling that mind, the ego. So I wouldn't focus on others as, oh my gosh, they're like, I've got to do one over on them. There's a lot of work, and there's nothing wrong with going over it again and again. And I have people that do the challenge that are masterclass students who've done it year after year because they love having the camaraderie. They love going through the material again. They love having that group support and having these goals to continue to improve. And every year that they do it, they learn something new and they get better and better. I mean, I'm 9 years in sugar-free now, being a healthy person, and I'm still learning to be a healthy person every day. Between my body and my mind. I've taken that on, and that's not a negative thing. Like, oh my God, when will I ever be a healthy person? I am a healthy person. And that's one of the things as a healthy person, it's like, if you're an artsy person or, oh, I want to be a scrapbooker. I don't know. Does anybody scrapbook anymore? It's not like, you make your scrapbook and then like you stop being a scrapbooker. It's like, you're still a scrapbooker, or if you're religious, you don't stop going to church just because you read the Bible and you're done. It's like, you keep going. It's like, it's repetitive. So it's around being that sense of community. So absolutely. I don't know where I was going with that. Just join. You'll be so happy you did.
Well, I'll go ahead and clarify. For those of you who have not been through the IKS Sugar Coursebook and you've been debating, should I go ahead and start that piece of the puzzle now before the challenge? Yes, absolutely. And if you're concerned because, oh my goodness, we are in the middle of junk sugary season with the holidays in December. So just so you know, you do not change what you're eating or drinking purposefully until you get to the end. And then it's still your decision. So yes. Now's the time for learning. So if it were me, if it was my first time joining the challenge and I was just being exposed to IKS sugar, I would start reading and, I would pick up the audiobook too, so I can start listening to it. It's the more you can get it into your mind, the better you're going to be, and start working through the tasks. Because I will tell you, some of the tasks, they're not simple because they make you really think. And you have to dig deep into some of your feelings and emotions and things like that come into play. And girls, you will be amazed at how much food and sugary treats have nothing to do with this process.
Yeah.
So it's working through the mind stuff. So if it were me, I would go ahead and start when I had time. And then I would kind of repeat it again when the challenge officially starts in January, just to kind of reiterate, to kind of get it into my system so that way it's a true lifestyle. I've been doing this, I think it's 4 years, 5 years. I don't remember.
Plus,
I have to look. So anyway, but I re-listen to it all the time when I'm on walks. I'll just go ahead and push play and listen to the audiobook because it's stuff that you're like, you kind of forget, or it's like you might not have caught the first time. So if it were me, I would go ahead and purchase it now and start. You can't go wrong. Yeah. And it's only going to encourage you and really develop that lifestyle changes that you're going to be making.
Right. It's just, and setting yourself up, that takes time. Cause like I see that with women too, like, oh, I can't start the course yet because I haven't printed out the material and I haven't gotten my journal. So get yourself set up is what Dawn and I are also saying, is you don't have to wait to January 1st. And as Dawn is saying, you can start working on your task and working through it, and take a little bit longer if you're joining now to work through, particularly getting up to module 5, and then it'll start to speed up again. But you might slow down a little bit at module 5 doing the journal work, and that, you can take the time to process and do those tasks. Because again, what we'll say, and we say this all the time, the women who have success with the program are the women who do the tasks. and the women who are in the master class doing the tasks and the bonus tasks, and showing up for our live monthly coaching calls. Those are the women that have the most success going through this, not just trying to listen or speed read through the course book, oh, I got it. And then I also, when you get the challenge guidebook, the very first thing I will say is read through the challenge guidebook twice before you start. And people are like, what? Because people like to flip around. They get it, they print it out, and they're like, oh, let me look at macronutrients. And they go to that. Oh, let me see what the sugar detox is going to be like. And you're just kind of skimming through it. The problem with our society, and I'm not putting this on anyone and give myself the same issue, is that we are not taking the time to read. And this is, we just had somebody mention, or Dawn is still getting questions even now saying, how come, the portal isn't opened up yet? Or where do I submit my pictures for the challenge? So they haven't even taken the time yet. They've got the challenge, they've registered for the challenge, but they didn't do what we told them to do, which is to read through the challenge guidebook. That's giving you, a sneak peek as to where you're going. Like when, I don't know if you do this, but when I open up, my maps to go somewhere, I kind of I don't just go by what the lady's telling me, like turn here, turn there. I get a visual for what's this whole journey going to be? What part of town am I going? Okay, I know. Oh, you know what? I kind of feel a little better. I know where she's going to tell me to turn. I got that. It's going to take me 30 minutes. Oh, there might be some traffic there. I need to reroute this way. So when she's telling me, I'm not so shocked or surprised by the directions. I already kind of gave myself heads up, right? By looking it over first and then going back and starting at the beginning route with her, all right? As she's giving me directions, whoever she is. And so it's the same thing with this. Read through so you have an understanding of where you're going to be going, but then start back at the beginning, because that is one of the biggest questions we get all the time is where do I submit my photos? And it's I don't know how many times we have to tell you. And we tell you not only in the challenge guidebook, and we have these big, gorgeous links, and it's all on page 13, but then we send out emails. So be sure you're getting our emails. If any of you have gotten an email from us, to ensure that you're getting emails, or make sure that you continue to, just reply back and say, got it. You won't get a reply back from us because we know you're just testing it. And that secures the system, because so much gets stuck in spam, junk, promotions folder, but it lets us know on our team, okay. And it lets the system know they're getting emails, because we send out emails throughout just for the challengers to walk you through the challenge, the 90 days. So be sure to read your emails. That's why we take the time to send them, to guide you through step by step what you're doing and where you're at. And, have you maybe slid back a little and you haven't caught up, or, hey, we're getting ready to do a sugar detox. We're at this point. Are you there yet? Oh, you better hurry up. You better start, get back into your modules, that kind of thing. So hopefully, I know I went on again.
Of course, we wouldn't have it any other way. And by the way, I do typically reply back when you say got it. So you will get a reply back from me. Okay. Are the books digital or hardback? I will answer this real quick. It's digital. You get immediate access to it. That's both for the guidebook and the course book. To be eligible for a prize, you do have to print out the course book, because we'll have you take a picture of yourself with the course book as part of the process.
And I just want to add, we're doing that not to make you use your printer or ink or go down to the office store or submit it in online, and spend $5 to have that done, $6. We're doing that for accountability. We're doing that as an accountability task for you, so that, you have to do it to show all of us, including the group, the challengers, that, hey, I did this. I'm doing it. I'm printing it out. I am starting the course, not oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. No, it's an accountability task to really check in with your coaches and make sure you're doing it.
Absolutely. And if you're worried about the ink, you can print it in black and white. That's perfectly fine. And I will tell you, highlighting it and putting notes in it made all the difference when I first started.
Yeah.
Because it just makes your brain and your hands interaction. It just pulls into your full body and it makes a difference. It's been proven with science that when you're putting pen to paper, makes a difference. So, okay. Next, this is a great question. Is the benefit of the challenge the group support? So if one doesn't use social media, is the program not beneficial?
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it is. I highly recommend, and Dawn, you've answered this one before too. Like, if you're not someone in Facebook, to do not just the challenge, we recommend that for you have the audiobook, if you have the course book, when you're doing the masterclass has their own private Facebook group where we're constantly coaching and working through. But yes, I have the I Kick Sugar community for that purpose, because community is crucial and key. So I'm not going to say, no, you couldn't do it alone, but why? And I really believe that you weren't meant to do it alone. And that's why I created this community. And it is so strong and so powerful. So one of the things that Dawn and I have suggested in the past, if you're leery of getting on Facebook and, is to create, just a profile just for this, to just put yourself in. Dawn has ways of, I think you've shared with people, like how to just be this group and how to set your settings so you can get that. But that's really where I think the magic happens when you're going through the course, the I Kick Sugar course. And definitely it also helps with the challenge, because now we're working on doing the healthy habits, getting our steps in, doing our walks, eating, showing our healthy meals that we're eating, sharing our macronutrients. All of that is so crucial, and it's fun. It's just funner to be in a group. I mean, we have the live calls. We have the live call pass. It's $15. You can add that on. For this challenge. Those are 3 calls, the kickoff call, the midway motivation, and the final stretch to get you through. I like to call them kind of like sermons for each of those, just fun motivational, seminar to keep you going and to focus, some lessons are in there as well on the challenge. But those are great, but they're not interaction like you're going to get in the Facebook group. So that's key. So I would think of it as like, are you the person who wants to start an exercise regime and get to the gym on your own every day? Or do you want to join a group class or a small group coaching or hire a trainer? That's what the community is equivalent to, having that, not going in it alone. And yes, science has and research has shown that people have more success when they have that support system. So I'm going to have to say, it's not impossible, but it's certainly harder.
And I will clarify, we have had women go through the challenge that are not on Facebook.
Yes.
That being said, when we get their results in at the end, first off, we're like, oh, I totally forgot she was a part of it, because we're not seeing her.
Yes.
So we're not seeing her journey. But more importantly, her results may not be as much or as different as those who were interactive in the group. Yes, if you are not a person who is regularly on social media, you can reach out to me at support@ikicksugar.com, and I can show you how to make it to where when you get on Facebook, you only see that group. And that way you don't have to worry about being pulled into other places. Second, we do have, as part of the challenge, is accountability buddies. I personally match up everyone unless the 2 people reach out to me and say, hey, I want to be a buddy with this person. Other than that, I match them up and I ask very specific questions, and I look, are they in the Facebook group? Are they in the masterclass? Are they, different things? I also look geography, because I want this to be a good match. We've had some matchups that people are still best friends today, and they get together.
They created love affairs.
Oh, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. So I've had great success. I will say there hasn't been 100% success, but we are at a higher rate than I think a lot of groups when they try to do accountability buddies. So I love that I get to do that.
Yeah.
That is a big piece of the puzzle. But I will say, if you sign up to be an accountability buddy, then truly do what you said you were going to do, because I will ask you how you want that connection to be. So please stick to it, because yes, 90 days can be very short, but 90 days can be very long at the same time. There's a lot of days in that 90 days. So I want you to keep to your commitment if you do that.
Yes, absolutely. And to just clarify, Dawn and I didn't make this clear, no, you can still enter the challenge and you can still be eligible for prizes without being on Facebook or having a accountability buddy. That is not one of the requirements. As we mentioned, people have done that, gone through the whole challenge on their own, submitted at the end. But what we've also seen with like pictures and, you know, their testimonial at the end is, wow, the people who were really involved had a lot more, you know, success. They had a bigger body transformation and a bigger emotional transformation. So that, you know, but if someone was like, wow, I mean, they could still win. It could still happen. That's not criteria for winning.
We've been surprised. We've been surprised on some of our winners because they weren't really interactive in the group. And then suddenly we're like, well, they're the winner. It's clear.
Yes.
So yeah. It's a lot of fun to see. Brenda asked if there will be a kickoff meeting for the challenge, or will it be combined with the monthly masterclass course on January 1st?
Yes. So no, the masterclass and challenge, two separate things. And that's what the challenge live call is. So it's a $15 pass. It's called the challenge live call pass. And it's $15. And that is our kickoff call for the challenge. It's the first, I don't have the date, Dawn, is it the 9th or 11th of January? It's like
the 11th,
first,
I believe.
Yeah, I think so. That call, you have to pay. So just because you registered for the challenge does not get you access to the live pass. I mean, honestly, I don't know why anyone would not want to pay $15 for 3 calls. That's just unheard. I don't know why I'm doing it for that. It's ridiculous. I mean, I do. I'm just wanting to help you all, okay? And and Dawn, I mean, we're both there, you know, it's like what I make off of that, I got to pay Dawn to be there. It's like, what am I making? You know, the time to edit the videos and get them out to send to all of you. But so that is the separate call for the challenge. We have a kickoff call in January. In February, we have a midway motivation call for the challenge. Just the challengers who sign up for these calls. You have to pay the $15. That gets you all 3 calls. And then the final call, the final stretch to get you over that hump in the middle and then get you across that finish line so that you finish strong. That's the call at the beginning of March to get you through that to the end of March. So yeah.
Now, everybody who does sign up for the live pass calls, you do get the recording. So if you can't be there live, that is perfectly fine. It's not a Q&A session. So it's not like you have to worry about, I didn't get my questions answered. It's set up actually similar to this call in that Joyce and I will be the ones on Zoom.
Yes.
Yes, it is run through Zoom, but you guys will not necessarily be talking or that type of things throughout it. It's
right.
Motivational based and to a large extent.
Yeah. And you can submit your questions throughout the call and Dawn will, you know, ask them. And also we give you a separate challenge portal to submit questions. If you can't make the call live, they're held on Saturday mornings. So there's no excuse typically with work for, you know, anybody. We didn't do it on Sundays because we have a lot of churchgoers. So no excuse there. And yes, so, and you'll have your own separate portal for $15 that has for you where you enter the live call, the link for that, as well as the replays that will be there stored for you to watch over and over again. Yeah.
Okay. The final question I see, which kind of goes hand in hand, there's kind of 2 in 1. Number 1, somebody said they need a shirt. So we will, when we do the recording, we will send the link for the swag shop. Number 2, what is with the buffalo on yours and Lori Banks shirts?
Yes, look at that. Stan, can you see? Woohoo! The buffalo. If you purchase the live pass for the calls for $15, This started on our first call. It's in one of our, motivation talks, and it kind of became our, what's that called when you have an animal? I can't remember. All of a sudden I went blank.
Oh goodness. Now you
Oh my God, on the team, a mascot. Our
mascot. That's it.
Our buffalo is our mascot for the challenge. We've kind of just slowly made him into that. And you'll learn in detail in the challenge about what the buffalo is. But I'll give a little hint right now for all of you who don't know, and you'll just hear it again. It'll be good reinforcement because all of you are going to do the challenge and all of you are going to sign up for the challenge live class calls. Again, $15. If you don't know, there is a difference between buffaloes and cows. So when a storm is coming, out there on the plains, it's very typical for the cows, and they sense the storm. Oh my gosh, a rain, cloud, storm coming. They get up, they're all laying on the plains there, and they start walking away from the storm, okay? And what happens? The storm, because they walk really slow, right? Starts to catch up to them. And now they're just walking in the storm. So what does that mean? It's taking longer, it's harder. I mean, they're enduring a lot. Whereas when a buffalo, their herd senses like the storm is coming, they get up and they start charging into the storm. And look what happens when you charge and you go into your challenges and your difficulties, ladies. You get out of it a lot faster than going like this. So the motto is, we've got on this t-shirt, summon your inner buffalo, because it's about taking on, because this isn't just about sugar, right? It's about all of life challenges. I'm sure you got other shit, excuse my language there, going on in your lives, right? That it's really going to be creating a mindset to help you in all these areas of your life, all right? To take on these challenges, face on. And that's what so many women, what Dawn and I get goosebumps, reading these stories and testimonials and hearing, for women how IKS has changed their lives, because it's changed it way beyond them thinking that they signed up for some diet, kick sugar program, because it's not about that. I know you think it is, but it's not. And so it's setting you up to build that resilience, to walk into adversity head on and empower yourself and be strong enough, emotionally capable enough and physically capable enough to handle whatever life storms and challenges you have to face. Because sugar isn't it. I promise you, it's bigger than that. And if you haven't had it now, and pray to God you don't, but I'm sure you all know we all have challenges every day and in our lives. So it's powering you for that. And so we've got the 90-day challenge, sweatshirt, and also in a tee. They're so cozy and soft. I've got this great challenge buffalo hoodie, which is so soft and cozy. And this has a whole bunch of empowering affirmations going around to remind you, charge through the storm. You got this, summon your inner buffalo. You can do hard things, ladies. I think I already told you that. And you are worth it. And never give up. All right. So there you have it. Dawn will give you the link. Check your emails. You should be getting those links also. What else? Anything else, Dawn?
I think that covered it all. I did put the link for the swag shop into the chat for you ladies. And also the link and coupon code for the challenge. And a couple people already said, that's it, I'm joining. So yes, I'm so excited for you, because if you put the work into it, it's truly life-changing.
It really is. I mean,
but you have to do the work.
Yes.
We get
as we said, there's nothing easy in life. I mean, it's work. Choose what work you want to do. Choose your heart is the bottom line, and yeah, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, ladies. Bottom line. So I hope, who already, hands up, is, although I don't know if everybody else can see, but at least we can see. Well, there's a lot of people who aren't showing their video, or put it in the chat box now, so Dawn and I can see, you know, a high five or a thumbs up if you are joining the challenge, if you're in the challenge, if you're going to be in the challenge, and do it now because things, woohoo, are only going to get busier with the holidays right now. And why pay more? Use the $10 promo code right now for sure. And if you're on this call and you're already registered and you haven't done the live pass, I just want to be a coach and say you need to go buy the live pass right now for $15. Okay. Seriously. So I think that's it. Anything else, Dawn? Any other questions? We're good.
Well, if anybody has any additional questions that might come up down the road later today or something, go ahead and email me at support@ikicksugar.com and I would be happy to answer it for you. And if for some reason I don't know the answer, then I'll get Joyce. But yeah, we've been in this together for a while, so
We have
got you taken care of.
And I'll say it live right now because I was talking about reading instructions. The portal, if you clicked on page 13 right now of your challenge guidebook to submit your before photos and do your all of that, it's not open. It says when it opens. It opens January 1st. Because yes, we're telling you can get started with the course, you know, the 100-page course book, but we're not starting the challenge officially until January 1st, where we are starting, okay, now we're going to start tracking and watching our transformation physically and mentally, okay? And we're also using the main Facebook group. So this is for any of my masterclass students, predominantly using the main Facebook group to post. So we're all in one place for the challenge. In the challenge, I mean, it gets really busy in there, that Facebook group this time of year for the challenge. And that's awesome. I mean, great, motivating, exciting posts up there. So use that, the main Facebook group, for the challenge. You can certainly, if you're a masterclass student, still post in there. And we encourage that. If you have the time and ability to do both, go for it. All right, ladies, I think that's a wrap, huh?
It is. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. All right. Love you, ladies. Good luck. I can't wait to cheer and root you all on. Dawn and I, all our ambassadors. We've got 9 ambassadors now. So exciting. So, you know, they're not doing the challenge. They've got their own challenge, but they are here to coach and support and lead you on and cheer you on. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you all enter the challenge. All right. Take care, ladies. Bye.